and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros, and this is Wisdom Wednesday, a little space where I like to carve out on the internet in order to share tips, tools, stories, and nuggets to help us all get to those next levels of healthy and happy to live that super sparkly everything life. During the month of June, we're going to be talking about decisions and making the best decisions for ourselves and how do we do that. And because this is a full-on workshop that I could be teaching, I'm just going to break it down into small nuggets every week during the month. And at the end of the month, we're going to put it all together. So hopefully we all have some real tangible tools that we can use to help build something. Oh, we got tools to build something that's going to lead us to getting to those next levels of healthy and happy. So when thinking about making decisions, a lot of times people either tell me that they have doubt or they're of two minds and they're not sure, which is called double-mindedness. So I want to talk about the 3Ds: doubt, double-mindedness, and decisions. When we are facing doubt, usually it's because we are not using our own opinion, our own judgment, our own best decision-making abilities. We're thinking about what other people might think or say about our decision, which then makes us doubt our own decision. So in this particular case, I'm going to recommend that this is what I recommend to my clients, and this is what I always say to myself. When I feel myself, and self-awareness is so important, you know it, we talked about it at the beginning of the year for this reason, because it's threaded into everything that we do. When I find myself doubting a decision that I know is good for me or that I know is not, like I'm going to make the decision because that thing is not good for me, or I'm going to make the decision because I know that thing is good for me, right? And I'm making my decisions accordingly, and I find myself doubting, I always ask myself, whose opinion am I making this decision based on? Am I thinking about someone else's opinion? If it's not me and my spirit and my higher self and my source, then I have to acknowledge that and then take the action to make the decision in the direction of what's best for me and my life. Because then it helps me push the doubt away. And the best way to deal with doubt is by taking action, right? So I make a decision, I go all in, and I decide I'm just going to step into that, and I'm going to let the doubt kind of fall at the wayside. When we practice doing that, we start to strengthen our own connection to ourself and to our source. We start to strengthen our own connection to our intuition, to our own guidance. And then what happens with practice is that the doubt creeps up less and less, right? If you find yourself in a space where you have double-mindedness and you're kind of weighing these two sides, what I usually recommend to my clients and for myself is which one feels like peace, because we can't have both, right? So, I mean, in some situations we can, but if we have to make a decision and it's one way or the other in that decision-making moment, we can decide which way feels like peace right now. And if they both bring a sense of peace, which one feels like more peace? And then heading in that direction, because really we were given life to live it to the full of peace and joy and ease and love and abundance and fun and health and happiness. So we have to, again, be self-aware enough to recognize which direction feels more like peace and then make the decision to head in that direction, right? So far I've given you 2 tips. I have one more. The first one is to make sure that you weigh yourself and weigh those doubts and ask yourself, whose opinion am I following here, right? To make sure that I'm getting to the next level of healthy and happy. And then the second one is to follow your peace. The third one, which we've talked about before, is knowing your core values. When you know what your essential rooted core values are, it just helps you make decisions. If my core value is love, when I'm faced with a problem or a situation and I have to make a decision about it, I ask myself, is this in the alignment with love? Is this in alignment with honesty? Is this decision in alignment with responsibility and gratitude and fun, the things that I say are my core values? Does this line up accordingly? If it doesn't, that instantly helps us make faster decisions, right? I know what my core values are. I know what direction I'm headed in. I know who I am. I know what kind of life I'm building for myself. I know the pillars that are structurally holding my life together. And I know that the only way to reinforce those pillars is with the decisions that I make and the actions that I take. So I make decisions accordingly. So those are my 3 tips for you. When you find yourself in a space where you're trying to figure out, how do I make a decision here? First and foremost, weigh whose health and happiness are you thinking about, right? And whose opinions rather are you holding on to? Because your health and happiness is ultimately yours. And I want more than anything for humans to get to those next levels of health and happiness so that they can continue to create impacts and ripple effects on the planet that makes everything healthier. When we are healthier, we give from a healthier place. When we have love, we give from love. When we are at peace, we give from peace, right? So whose decisions, whose opinions, whose judgments are you weighing? And really, are they important? Because most of the time, they're not. Like 99.9999999% of the time, they are not. So then you have to decide, okay, I know that I'm in doubt and I have to make this decision based on what's best for me and my life, and trusting and following your peace. Does this decision lead me towards a place of peace? And does it line up with my core values, right? And when we weigh those three things, when we weigh our decisions against those three things, it really helps us make healthier and happier decisions for ourselves and our future. And bonus, not only does it give us the opportunity to connect to ourselves and our source, but we also start to learn how to make decisions faster because we're so in tune and aligned with what feels like peace, what feels like alignment with who we are, what feels like alignment with our core values, and then we start making decisions faster. And this is the extra bonus. When we do that, we stop looking for reasons to explain or justify our decisions to other people because we recognize, I don't need your permission. I'm a full-grown adult over here making the best decisions for me. You don't have to understand it. It wasn't given to you, right? And if the same situation or dilemma or issue or whatever you want to call it is given to them, they're going to have to respond their way. It can never be the same way because we're all different people with different experiences and different filters and different biases and different backgrounds. But if we're rooted in that knowing of who we are, in our own truth, if we're rooted in our peace, if we're rooted in our core values, we make healthier decisions moving forward for us. I just had this conversation the other day where I said to a woman, she's like, oh, she was making the situation out to be like, it was against her and like, woe to her because she created this story and in her mind, the story wasn't happening and like, when. That's what it sounded like. I laughed so hard. I laughed at her because I was like, I can't even handle this right now. And I said to her, granted, I would never do that to a client. This was somebody that I know and they know me. So I said to her, how dare you tell this person that their decision that they know is best for them in their lives, because it doesn't match the fake story you made up in your head and the story that you decided needed to be in order for you to feel better, isn't good enough for them. How dare you tell them that their connection to their source, to their God, is not good enough because it doesn't line up with what you think they should do? Ooh, right? And she got real quiet and we had this real conversation about this. We have to get better at making decisions for ourselves and give other people room to make those decisions for themselves. Quick side note, if someone comes to you and they're about to make a decision, please understand that when you give advice, it's like offering someone a buffet. Don't get mad if they don't take your advice. It's a buffet. It's intentionally, here are options that many different people are coming at you again with their different experiences and filters and backgrounds and biases. And this is a buffet. You have to choose what is most satisfying for you, what is healthy for you, what is going to fill you up and keep you sustainable. You have to choose, right? So if someone doesn't take your advice, don't take it personal. You just offer them another thing in the buffet. And if you ask for advice, please understand that you don't have to take anybody's advice. What you do have to do is check in with yourself. What feels like truth and peace, and what are your core values, and make decisions from that place. Okay, that's all that I have for today. I hope to see you next week when we're going to talk a little bit more about this and how making decisions and unpacking some of our decisions. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Subscribe. Make a decision to hit the subscribe button. And that's all I got for you. I hope you have a great rest of your week, weekend, and next week. And I'll talk to you soon. Love ya. And there's nothing you can do about it because I've already decided. Peace.